Welcome everyone, this is the Rocket.Chat Engineering Podcast. I'm Rodrigo Nascimento, Rocket.Chat CTO and co-founder, and your host on this weekly podcast. Here to talk about the news on the engineering areas from the past week. And I have with me today our backend leader and co-founder, Diego Sampaio.
Hello there.
Our apps engine leader, Douglas Gubert.
Yo folks!
Our cloud leader, Aaron Nuggle.
Hello, hello, hello.
Our front-end leader, Guilherme Gazzo.
Hello!
Our mobile leader, Diego Mello.
Hey guys.
And our Omnichannel product manager, Renato Becker.
Hello guys!
Cool guys, so getting started this week, we had, start with the patch releases from the past week. We had one release that was the 3.10.4. It was, I guess we mentioned on the past episode that we are going to release that one. It is a fix for the 3.10.1 that generated some wrong data on the subscriptions. So if you had that problem, this version will fix those migrations. It's probably a rare case to have been running this 3.10.1. It was out for just a few hours, but now it's migrating back those subscriptions names. And it includes a small fix for the auditing panel related to the Omnichannel. And yeah, that's basically it for the releases. And as usual, starting with the backend, Diego Sampaio. What are the news?
All right. So past week we have been working for a few improvements on the end-to-end encryption feature, trying to make it more reliable, and probably Gazu will talk about that as well because there's a lot of improvements on the front end as well. Also, we are working on a feature called NPS that will help us get like scores on the Rocket.Chat usage. So that will be, we plan to have that for the next release. For that we found out that we need to develop a new banner system. This new banner system will be like much more scalable. We'll be able to trigger banner alerts for all users on a server, and without like hammering the server on the like performance issues. And also we will like use our UI kit, so it should be much more customizable, and we expect to have like nice usage for it on the future. And we are also working on a enterprise feature that will limit the channel's history for new joiners. So admins or channel owners will be able to choose whether a new user will be able to see the chat history before the user joins. So we also plan to have that for the next release. And yeah, that's it for us.
Cool. This is an NPS. I think it's nice to mention that will be something that we're probably going to show to the users 2 times a year or something like that. So we can get from the end users how happy they are using the system, and they can send us comments about the grade they decide to. It's a normal NPS, right? So from 0 to 10, and you can enter a comment, so you can know better what to improve on the application and make it better for the users. So you can track the satisfaction of the end users, not only what you do today, like we have contact with the administrators, people that installed, and not the real end users. We kind of have that with the mobile apps, because the stores, they provide a way for the users to give feedback and evaluate the application. But on the web application, like this is the first version you're going to have to understand better the final user. So it's kind of interesting. And as Jago mentioned, like it's a whole new usage for the management system, needing to show to all users. So in a huge installation, it can be heavy. That's the reason behind needing to refactor everything. So yeah, that's kind of nice thing.
What does NPS stand for?
Network Promote Score.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's because the question is like, how likely are you to promote or to
Recommend.
recommend, yes, the software to other users. So we measure how likely users are, really liking the software to the point they want to recommend. So this is a standard metric. So it's kind of like from 1 to 6, it's bad. 7, 8, it's normal. People are not going to recommend, and 8, 9, or 10, or 9, 10, it's recommendation score. So pretty standard. People can go to the on Google and search for that. But you're not going to do anything different from our implementation, and it will be the same for the other softwares they're doing. Cool. So Doug, here, continuing with you. What are the news on the apps engine?
All right, so let's go. So there was some kind of like a priority shift last week, and we have started working on some internal mechanisms that allow us to integrate with the ClaimAV. ClaimAV is an antivirus server. It simply put, you send it a file and it tells you if it is infected by a virus or not. To do that, we needed to give apps access to more native Node.js native modules, because ClaimAV does not support natively the a REST interface, so it goes directly through TCP. And we're working on a pre-upload hook as well. So apps will be able to prevent an upload from being finished or for completing. These two things are going to come out on the release on Wednesday. And I mean, not on Wednesday, right? The release candidate comes out on Wednesday. And the app itself will be available sometime next week, most likely. And other than that, our permission system is on test for the release this week as well. We're testing some scenarios, testing the UI, testing integrations, so that we make sure it will be used smoothly from after the publishing. And that should be it as well. Just remembered, shout out to Mateus, who's working with us. He's an intern that's working with us for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And he is being able to actually go through a lot of issues and of the repo, and he's been putting on the work on communicating and trying to solve as many issues as he can. So thank you for being so close to our community. Sometimes we cannot be as close as we would like to because of internal demands, but thankfully this we like Mateus could handle and go there and be closer to the community in this period. So yep. That's it.
Very cool. And is the permission system requirement for this antivirus plugin as well? I think so, right?
Yes, we're going to have like a networking permission where the app will ask for permissions to have like HTTP connections and other protocols connections as well, like TCP. And also the event, the hook, is also a kind of like a permission, right? We are planning to show it along with the other permissions in the modal so that the admins know what are the events that apps are listening to or hooking themselves to, so that they can decide whether they want to install this app or not, right? So yeah, that's the idea.
Good. It's a pretty cool first, or one of the first implementations of APIs for the permission system. It's nice. Next one is cloud. Aaron, what's going on there?
All right. So we're still working on add-ons. We're kind of putting the finishing touches and entering into the end-to-end testing. We should have more to share on this very soon. I know we're kind of teasing this a lot, but there's a lot of complexity here that we want to make sure that we get right. But it's coming soon, promise. Next, other thing we have going on is the install SH and the Rocket.Chat CTL install method. We're working on making that migration path to WireTiger for that method. We did that, I think, if you listen to, probably one of the first episodes, we mentioned doing this for Docker, the whole Docker Compose stack. So we're trying to do kind of the same learnings there, so it should be much faster. We're also doing some more stuff with infrastructure automation. Like I said last time, this will come up a lot, but we are working on some cool tooling here. One of the ones that we're working with and trying out is Tinkerbell. It was open sourced by Packet, or I guess they're now known as Equinox Metal. So we still have cloud positions open. If you're interested in working this kind of thing, come find us. There's my plug again. And Doug mentioned having an intern in his team. We also have one on our team, and just to kind of point out, he's getting to play with this stuff, and it's pretty cool. So there's that too. That's it for the cloud team.
Pretty cool. So getting highlights from the interns. It's pretty nice. Just a curiosity, and maybe for the people that are going to listen to this as well. How hard is this kind of migration from the mmap to WireTiger? Is anything like it's hard to do on this kind of automatic installations, or I don't even know how that works on the Docker, for example.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily hard, at least if you take it from like a sysadmin type perspective. But it's not necessarily easy, I guess. It's basically you dump the database, so you need to make sure there's enough storage available, a storage location you can dump to, and then you switch the engine and restore to WireTiger, doing a Mongo restore. So it's fairly straightforward. To automate, it's a little bit complex just because you need to do some extra checks there. To make sure that you're not going to make the host run out of storage space, and maybe even ask for like where can I put these files temporarily. Check to see how big estimated the export will be. If you're using GridFS, probably a little larger. So yeah, it's not necessarily hard, but it's it's a little more harder to script.
I can imagine it's kind of hard to make it run smoothly on an automated tool, right? So without any problems, and of course preventing knowing all the possibilities to ensure we can act on that automatically, or at least letting the administrator know how to do those.
Yeah, I think the idea is probably to do as many checks as we can, and if there's any doubt, we'd basically give the instructions to the admin, right, and have them do it directly. That way, we don't leave it up to automation to figure, everything out. We can instead try to guide the admin. So, and that may be our first actual approach, is to try to basically add in that sort of like instructions. Like, here, you want to do that now? Here's how you do it, and then move forward. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, thank you. The next one is front-end team. Gazo, what's going on there?
Hello. First, just to mention, I think Doug said like the apps would be able to prevent like uploads, but I think more than that, they would be able to imply new or unknown MIME types. Then it helps too if you want to provide previews or even know that if since like MIME types are like virtually unlimited kinds, then we can upload an app that recognizes some range of files for some reason, but it's nice. And yeah, that's only just to mention. About the things that Diego already mentioned, the encryption, yeah, we had some improvements about discussions and things like discussion being getting the props from the room instead of like default one. And we, during this time, we found some bugs not related with security, but with how the flow was developed, and we changed a little bit. Now we're supposed to be more. Should be working better. Like people were complaining about like being forced to refresh to get the keys synchronized, and yeah, so now it's supposed to be working at least better. And about the NPS, I would say that we are doing more than that. We are doing like a banner system, and more than only a banner system, we are like providing a new surface to UIKit. So apps will be able to open these banners, and with this block there, the server will be able to open banners, and the cloud will be able to open banners inside Rocket.Chat. So this is more because we can use for more reasons if we want to. And the whole idea is like let the backend or let the server decide and build more complex things like open models or make more actions. Then nowadays we only have the message, maybe a link, and the whole idea is allow the server to control or do more things. And if you want, like make a quiz or a question, or maybe restart something or pay something or whatever. Not pay is not the best example here, but maybe inform some usage or wherever that. And and we we merged the few parts of the message written in React, so the attachments, the threads and discussions and broadcast. Some suggestions sprouted from the after we released this, so we still have to check and maybe change a little bit some attachments, but yeah, we are about to finish the message soon. I think this is a good thing, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. I didn't know all the details about this banner, but it's for sure pretty nice to see. It's a powerful, place and component to deal with the UI kit and apps. I think there will be a lot of usage for this
Yeah, the main point I think is not only provide this feature like the question, but it will be the first surface, the first place beyond the message that we are providing, and we want to offer more space to handle custom things. Then it will be the first, and the future may be a homepage or whatever. But this is the first step to bring more features from the apps. Then that's why it's so exciting. It's not only the question how likely you would recommend Rocket.Chat, but okay, at the end of the day, the user will see this, but the developers will have more power to develop wherever
Yeah,
the
pretty cool.
application wants.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
NPS is like the first usage of this
Yeah.
whole thing. Cool. Thank you. The next one is mobile. Chego, Melo, what's going on there?
Hey everybody. Last week we fixed a couple of interesting bugs, like the rooms list not being marked as red sometimes. So the mobile client and the web client would lose sync. We fixed a behavior on Android's hardware back button, which by default on Android, it kills the current Android activity when the current screen is the root of the stack. But then when the app was resumed, it would take too long to render and to reconnect to the server. So instead of that, we started to fall back to the same approach of the home button. So the fix leaves the app in background when back button is pressed. In this case, make the next resume a lot faster. We also made a few adjustments to the thread details component, which is now a lot cleaner, at least in my eyes. We've been releasing a beta for version 4.14. We still have to write a pre-release on GitHub and more stuff, but it's available on experimental and official labs already. Just a quick reminder here that the experimental lab is always a few weeks in front of the official app when talking about release. So 4.14 is in production since last week already, while it just landed on official as beta. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have this experimental app installed on your devices as well. The plan is to land official on production next Monday, 25th. We've been also working on end-to-end encryption fixes and on more bug fixes like the duplicated notification title on Android. Later this week, we're going to release another beta with the fixes available by then. And that's all. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you. And I think it's nice to mention, since everyone is talking about end-to-end encryption, that you're trying to make the end-to-end encryption more stable, the current version, and doing some studying on how to improve it and get it out from beta as soon as possible. Not now, but soon. And now you're trying to make it more stable and getting more people involved on this encryption part to get a official production ready version of the end-to-end. And that's why all the UI teams working on that, and even the backend. Just I thought this were nice to mention.
Just to add, like the stability or the reliability is not related with the security itself. It's more like for user experience or some bug, just to let everybody aware it's not like a security problem. It's only
that's just mentioning that we are trying to put more attention on this feature. Right? The first phase is to make it stable and less buggy, and then to improve the security areas of the feature itself. Cool. The last one is the Omnichannel area, Renato. What are the news there?
Hi, Rodrigo. Hi, guys. Yeah, as everybody knows, the ability to set up email accounts in Rocket.Chat is one of our highest priority in short term for Omnichannel at least. And yeah, I'm very glad to say that we are very close to finished the implementation of this feature. I would say that the tricky part of this implementation is done. There is still a few things to add to this implementation, UI and UX improvements and enhancements, but everything is on track. Yeah, when it comes to Omnichannel, the ability to deal with email threads is it's important channel for companies, to assist and support their customers' audience. So hopefully this feature is coming out in less than 2 weeks. And other important thing to mention is that another core feature, Omnichannel core feature, has been merged. I'm talking about the ability to auto-transfer chats based on agents' inactivity. Let's say a new conversation starts and the agent does not reply in a specific timeout. The system will forward the chat to another agent, which is also a very important improvement for the product. And the team is also working on another enterprise feature. Since the release 3.10, Omnichannel managers and agents, they can set contact managers. And now we are improving this feature even more, which means that we are giving contact managers the preference to assist Omnichannel chats before other agents. So it's also another queue improvement. So all of those features are coming out with the next release 3.11. And I'd like to share that we are also planning our next steps, and a new app is coming very soon. I'm talking about a new integration with Twitter. People want to be able to assist their audience on Twitter, and now we are going to support this new channel as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Very cool. And the most exciting one is the mail channel. I'm working a little bit on the back end of this feature. So the alpha version will be available on the next one.
Yeah.
But the most exciting part, the whole new UI to make this channel as another level of usability, it's coming on next releases.
Yeah.
Okay, cool guys. So we reached the end of the podcast. Thank you all for listening to this weekly podcast, and this podcast is available as video on YouTube and audio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and others. And thanks to the Rocket.Chat's engineering team to make this possible. See you all on the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye guys. Bye.
See you guys.